Swami Sivananda talks about Swami Vishnu coming to the West, and Swami Vishnu-devananda talks about meeting Master Sivananda for the very first time. Hariom Tat Sat.
India, the land of Kirtan, where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Meera danced, the Lord's name. And now even educated people, they feel shy to sing Kirtan. Now you see, our vishnu-devananda is now touring for the last 2 years in America. As a yogi, in all his classes, he had a yoga, and changed entirely the minds of thousands of people. And now we will hear, although Ramiki, I admire the name Lakshmi. And also our line from Australia, they will sing Kirtan, source of the Kirtan, Namaskar and Devanation. Vishnu Swami has now introduced to see long player where all the Japanese Kirtan, Namaskar, Kirtan simply is pouring forth the Lord's name all over America. God knows, God is now dancing before God's name. Now we will hear the sweet Namaskar, Kirtan and Japanese, which are although Lakshmi in me and your life, you will just here enjoy the Kirtan. Now come along, first come along, although Laviki.
Jai Ganesha, Jai Ganesha, Jai Ganesha Bharima, Sri Ganesha, Sri Ganesha, Sri Ganesha Ratnama.
And then to the next bus, return bus, they take from Haridwar to Rishikesh and back. Because I had to catch the evening train back, I don't have much time now left. So I can go to Rishikesh, just have seen this man and then come back. That's all my desire. So I arrived somewhere, I think in May or June, I think. June 46. That's almost 20 years ago. 46, 56, almost 21 almost. And Master, I left and arrived there. She gets this bus goes and stops just in front of the, not far away from the ashram. From that onwards, the pilgrims has to all walk around this. There's a hanging bridge, and cross the hanging bridge, go to Sarvasram, where Master used to do penance before, and then pilgrims will cross across the ferry, a free ferry is given, and the ferry comes and stops back again in front of the bus, where the ashram is situated. So first I didn't go to ashram, I could walk with the pilgrims, so I want to find out what it's all about. And it's on the way, lot of holy men and Swamis with the orange robes and bears and every type of people you will see. And then came to Sarvasram and then crossed the ferry, took the ferry and came to ashram. Ashram was in a very poor state at that time. During the war, everything was slow and the kitchen was in dilapidated state. But as I came, the Master was sitting. I expected that he must be sitting on a tiger skin, all the ideas I had about how a saint should look like, and people will be all standing with reverence and so forth. But I came and I saw a few pilgrims and visitors came to see him, and he was sitting on a platform, a concrete platform, and the rest of them, some of them standing, some of them sitting and asking several questions. Just like a press conference going on there. But when I look at him, one thing is quite different. He is not like any other person I ever seen in my life. I could never forget the first time I ever seen. There is nothing but a man, when he smiles, the face just literally looks like a sun. And his body is literally glowing. His skin is so soft and there's light emanating from his body all the time. That's my first experience. And I was only a small boy, there were so many people there and everyone was asking questions. I never even dared to ask a question to such a man. So I was satisfied. I just silently wept and left the place. I didn't ask one question, I only stood for 1 minute there, that's all my first contact. And he didn't see me, I was far away in the crowd. I went back to my camp in time. When I had my leave, after some time, 20 days, 28 days, you get first time leave. My parents were by that time were all don't know what happened to me, and I didn't reach the cousins and the big things going on at the back home. At last, I wrote only after 3 months or 4 months only I wrote where I was. By the time I already contacted my master and I knew I met him, everything all happened so fast. So now going back to home, so first thing I'll stay 2 days at least in his ashram and learn what I can learn from him. So I want to find out more about it. So I just came back in a small, the thing I got out of the rickshaw, that is the conveyance from Rishikesh. And then I was just going to his cottage, his ashram. I reckon he was also coming from his afternoon. I think he'd go to a small office there. He'll finish his office work and he's returning back to his cottage in the Ganges Bank. And there's a small group of his disciples following him as a procession. And I was still egoistic and I was a learned person. I don't want to go before a saint or a man because I'm more educated than anyone else I knew. And it is a customary that we have to go before a Swami, especially a saint like Swami Sivananda. Naturally we had to go, and I didn't like it. So I just moved away from the path so that the procession go away and I need not go. And to avoid the frustration, just prostrating before a saint, I just moved out and took in a corner and stayed there. But as the procession came and suddenly it stopped and he just came to my direction. And he asked me, "Are you coming from Jalandhar?" I said, "Yes." And then he prostrated before me. I never cared to prostrate before me. He touched my feet. And he taught the first lesson, the humility, which I didn't have, even still very little I have. That's my first lesson I received. And absolutely a saint that ministers, prime ministers and presidents all come to and bow before him. Here is a man, absolutely a stranger, a stupid boy, standing with all his egoism. I think all about, I knew about the world, about things, and he just come and he has to get away from his actual path and come out from the path and to ask a question and to teach me a first lesson. And that's my experience. So I learned from him. He's not like any other Swami or a saint, because all of Swamis will never go with another man, my God. If a Swami goes before another person, his spirituality has gone down. They never go, they always keep their head high. The moment you become Swami, you are not allowed to go before anyone. That's the rule. And here is a man who broke all those rules. And not only young men, old men, children, doesn't matter, anyone he prostrated before, animal, doesn't matter what it is. So in his practical life he showed humility. That's my first lesson. Second lesson, to cut short, it is Friday evening, they were worshipping the Ganges. It's a beautiful time, everyone is enjoying. And the atmosphere is marvelous, because first time you come, everything is wonderful, anywhere, any spiritual. After some time you stay, things become, you don't see the same beauty. But the first experience was marvelous. And the disciple of Swami Sivananda came with flowers and made a small, tiny paper lamps, and they were floating the paper lamps on the Ganges. And they were worshipping the Ganges. It's Friday devoted for worshipping the Ganges, a flowing river. For me, I'm skeptical, and though I was brought up in a Hindu religion, I don't care about all those kind of rituals. So I was just thinking, what kind of foolish disciples Sivananda is having. They don't know ABCD of anything, they don't know anything about H2O, the water is made of hydrogen and oxygen. I learned all about it in the school, I know everything about it. This illiterate disciples, I was just feeling myself as superior to them. So I was just observing their whole ceremony, just more as curiosity seeker. And suddenly, the Sivananda also came and joined his disciples. And I said, what kind of man he is? He's not an ordinary man. He's sage. Not only that, he also was a medical doctor. He knows all about H2O. So why he used to worship a flowing river? I was thinking like that. And just at the moment he turned back, just a second and looked at me. I was mentally thinking, and the thought reached him, and just look at it, and look at this foolish boy. He knows everything, he knows because he knows a little bit of H2O. And then there comes my second lesson. Everything changed. The whole Ganges vanished. With a one bright light, everything merged. Just giving one simple message, everything is God, even this flowing Ganges is God, the mighty Himalayas is God. There is nothing except light appears. So he thought, do not use your intellect to find out the truth. Truth is far beyond your understanding. You are nothing spiritual life, you are not even ABCD. See, so he taught me second lesson. Well, that's enough for me, no more, because I am not ready for anything else beyond that. Then I went home, and then it came next year, 1947. It was Diamond Jubilee celebration. The war is finished, and they asked me whether I would like to continue to stay, and they will make me big officer, and they will make me promotions and everything. I said, finish my army life. I got what I want. I go back to my thought of settling as a simple school teacher and become a teacher and help these boys, illiterate boys in my hometown, in village. They don't have much education. I think that's the